YouTube. This is Siberian Tiger. I've had this for maybe 3 days now. I'm gonna give it a quick review, some pros and cons. As with a lot of reviews on this guy, you're gonna hear some negative, and I think it's warranted. Some of it maybe not so much, but let's go with the pros for now. I will say that this sculpt is amazing. You know, I couldn't ask for a nicer presence here, like the way that this guy looks, and he just pops out at you in terms of how badass he looks. You know, he doesn't look like he's gonna get his ass kicked anytime soon. He's just straight up badass looking, you know. So, in regards to the sculptor, whoever you are, you get mad props. You know, you look at the other two, they're just chilling. You know, maybe look like they're watching TV or something, figuring out what they want for dinner. And this guy here, he's ready to kill something. You know, just straight up amazing sculpt. But where he lacks things are his materials. This thing is entirely made of plastic. This thing is a solid, heavy weight to it. You know, you could do some curls with this guy and work out. Whereas this guy, I can pick him up with just one hand, just like that. But with the lightness and the materials, there are small benefits to that in regards to his dreadlocks, which, you know, there is a lot of play to them. There's nothing that they're not going to snap off unless you're trying to or take a saw to them. Whereas on these guys, you know, that they still have some play, but you can feel that some sort of stress will eventually break them. You know, they all have, and this is plastic. I get that. It's a necklace. It's just a little piece added to it. So with this also, there's another plastic necklace, but it was glued on. I do not agree with that choice because mine kind of snapped off here, you could see, and the big splotch of glue left behind, and the actual piece here was just stuck in there. So not a good choice there. Actually just did make a phone call to get a return on this guy. Maybe in the future I could find him on eBay for like $300 because I really think that's what he's worth in terms of the quality overall for this. Definitely not the asking price of $650. You know, am I paying $650 for a piece that has a glued on mandible here? Like, really? You can't. You know, I can go in there with some putty and fix that up, but why should I have to repaint it? And you're paying a shit ton of money for this, for a piece of shit. You know, it's basically what it comes down to. The paint job is not awful, but it's a far cry from the pictures we've seen. You know, up here it lost a lot from the production pictures. The pictures up now on Sideshow are of the actual in-hand product, so you can't compare this to that because it's going to look the same. But if you see the original pictures, it's like night and day. Yeah, this looks like a 4-year-old kid was trying to draw a tree. You know, I'll compare it to the other Predators where you can see it's actually, you know, not amazing, but it's definitely a step up in terms of the time that was put into making the veins in the side of the mouth. This stands out the most in terms of how bad it is. You know, just look at that. Unacceptable. And the tooth, and these are all, I would imagine they have to have been glued in. So if you look at the straightness of this tooth, and then you come over here and you see how cattywampus that is, you know, it's a minor thing, but still, that could easily have been glued more properly. You know, I'm trying to think like where I work, and if I slack off on my job and I don't do it well, then I'm gonna get fired. You know, if someone in here all they have to do is glue a tooth on a predator's face, and they can't do that right. How do they keep a job? You know, or paint these veins in the mouth. But again, this is glued on here. This is a piece that will not move unless you rip it off. You can see there's connecting pegs and holes that they were gluing these into. You could see, let's see that little plastic nub above my thumb? There's a hole in there that's supposed to fit into. You know, it's a necklace. That's totally unnecessary, and I can really gripe about that because mine's broken. If that wasn't glued there, I think the looseness of this just would have not been an issue at all. And as far as the head goes, you know, look at that. It wobbles back and forth. So literally, I bought a bobblehead, a $650 bobblehead. But the details, the base is actually really nice. It's just two separate pieces, obviously. It came in two separate boxes. The details in here are actually pretty cool. And I know at looking at the original molded picture that a lot of this detail has been lost. You know, I was looking at the old pictures of this. I waited over a year to get this thing. You know, I was very excited to get this, and now I have it, and I'm kind of like dumbfounded by, you know, the disappointment. And, you know, like I said, I saw detailed pictures of the original, and you could see so much more line work in this, so much more detail. It just seems like this is a melted version of the original. And on the phone when I made the call to return this, the guy was telling me that he saw the original and the production piece together, and he thought that this looked better. So I just bit my tongue and listened to him until I heard him say, "You're gonna get your money back." So again, the paint job is not awful. The eyes are very detailed, and I love the way that they added a nice gloss sheen to it. So, and a lot of people are getting theirs, and you can see the number. I don't know because of the lighting here, but there are numbers in here and in here that you could see. Whoever put these together could figure out where to put them. You know, you could have put the number in the actual peg that you needed to glue it into instead of making it a part of the actual dread. But let me give you a 360. Not much to see back here except for all of his dreadlocks. But there's not much detail or texture. It's there, but it's not as much as they claimed it would be. So, again, awesome sculpt. Just, you know, an amazing sculpt that just fell short with the production quality of it. And, you know, this here is just ridiculously unacceptable, along with the materials. You know, I sold my full-size wolf predator bust, you know, in anticipation for this, and now I have to get rid of this, and I won't have him anymore. And he was about $800, I think. So at $650, you know, for this, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, they were implying that the vinyl material costs more to make, but I don't know. Look at Funko Pop. You know, do you think basically what this guy is a big Funko Pop vinyl figure? You know, well, that's my thoughts on this guy. And you know, if you're on the fence, you know, if you had the money that can just, you know, not care about that, then get him. He's awesome in terms of how he looks, but I just can't warrant the purchase. I know eventually I'll find him on eBay within the years to come for a fraction of what I paid for this, and hopefully I can get him then. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, here's just a little comparison. He's definitely larger in terms of the scale. I know he's probably a bigger predator too, but he's definitely a larger scale compared to the other two. Just look at his teeth. His tooth is gigantic, and then you look at these little tiny guys here. But they do look great together. It's just a shame that Sideshow couldn't have stepped up the game and, you know, made them a little, you know, more quality driven instead of, you know, more productive on their, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. On that note, over and out. Hope you dig the review. Peace.